Are you an entrepreneur? Are you an entrepreneur in a small community? Do you not know how to get started? Well, this is a show for you. Today we're talking with Marcy Goodwin of Peoria. How you doing, Marcy?
Good. How are you?
Yeah,
Thanks for having me.
you are the co-founder of Smart Start Business Development.
Yes.
And that's here in Peoria?
Yes.
Based in Peoria?
Based in Peoria, yes.
But y'all go...
Yes, we are all throughout central Illinois, eastern Iowa, and we are branching out nationwide soon.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You're going to take over the world?
We are, well, what we say.
Dr. Evil style?
Right, world domination. Right.
You-
One small town at a time.
You did grow up, did you grow up on a farm?
So we had the like typical family farm where my grandparents had the farm, and then all the kids had the property around that farm.
Yeah.
And so my uncle and my dad, my grandfather passed away when I was young, took over the family farm and farmed it, as well as having their outside jobs.
Gotcha. How many, 15 cousins in a 1 mile radius?
Thereabouts. I mean, it's a small town. Everyone's related, and that's, cousins, second cousins. We're all
I could only imagine
grew up together.
the sounds of banjos around.
I mean, yeah.
That could either be fun or horrible. Was it? Which one? Was
It was
it?
great, yeah.
I mean, you always had like someone to play with, right?
Exactly. We had, yeah. You just go outside and kind of yell or ride your bike down the street, or the road.
Yeah.
Someone would find you.
So you were driving the fuel truck as a kid.
No, my dad did.
Your dad did.
I did not drive a fuel truck.
Would make a better story.
I know. Now I'm wishing I wouldn't have said that. Yes, we have fact checkers now. We
Yeah.
can't say that. But so my dad drove the FS truck for the southern part of our county.
So he went around to the farms and filling up the
Yep.
tanks and that. Yeah.
Yep.
You played sports in high school. What'd you play?
I played. It was a small town, so you could play all you wanted. So I played softball, basketball, and volleyball.
What town? Where'd you grow up?
Bunker Hill, Illinois.
Bunker Hill. Okay. Where is that for people in Peoria?
So it's in Macoupin County. So it is down toward the Alton area.
It's not Bishop Hill.
No,
Bunker
Bunker
Hill.
Hill.
That sounds Bunker Hill,
Down toward St. Louis area.
15 cousins within a mile. It's
Pretty rural.
You know how
Pretty-
redneck that sounds?
Do you know how redneck it was?
So you played softball.
that was my main sport. That's what I excelled at
In what position?
as a pitcher.
Oh, so you like the fast or the slow?
Fast pitch.
So where you wind up.
The windmill.
Okay. Does that? I remember seeing like every year during the Olympics, they have the gal pitcher and she pitches to the major leaguers
Oh yeah.
and they can't hit it, right?
Oh,
Because
right.
explain it to me, because the ball's actually it's going up instead of down, or what's the deal?
So, and we used to do this with our baseball team too. We would always play the baseball team in the year, and we would strike them out. They could not hit us. You're actually coming at them at a shorter distance. Like with baseball, it was whatever it was, and softball is like, gosh, at that time, what is it now? 45 feet, but it was 40 feet
Been
at that
a while,
point.
huh?
It's been a minute. But the ball is coming at you relatively even faster because of the shorter distance. Is coming at the batter faster,
Yeah.
and you can make it go up, down, you can curve side to side. It just has so much more rotation on it. The ball has a bigger surface area, so it can move the air. It's physics. It moves more.
Curveballs. Now, okay, so the only thing I played was a slow pitch, right?
Right.
And I know that like a good pitcher could basically tell you where they're going to hit.
Right.
Were you able to do that with fast pitch, or are you just trying to get a strike?
Oh no, we like my catcher would set up, a good pitcher would set up, and the catcher would set up, and you'd hit it. Like we would actually put what are the styrofoam cups in
Yeah.
the chain link fence, and the coach would put numbers on it, and we'd have to hit them.
You could
in
do
order.
like from how far away? Your regular distance?
Yeah. Yeah, you just put it where you want it, and that's how you. Yeah,
Okay. So you played for what college?
played for Millikan University in Decatur.
Okay, and you were a pitcher there. And then when did you start running the pitching clinics?
Oh gosh, so in high school and college, we it was my first, looking back, it was my first business venture. We had to drive like an hour into St. Louis to find a pitching coach at that time. This was, back in the, middle ages,
70s?
basically. Yeah, no, it was 70s, but it was the late 80s. So we had to we would drive like an hour into St. Louis to get a good pitching coach.
Yeah.
And then as softball was growing, we were noticing more and more people were calling me and coming to me, hey, can you teach me how to pitch? And so my summer coaches were like, hey, let's just start running pitching clinics. So we would run pitching clinics all through the summer, and that's pretty much how I worked my way through college.
Really? You were making enough doing that?
So on my 4 hours a week, I worked as a pitching coach, because we would have 20, 30 girls come each session.
Yeah.
And we would, work through those throughout the morning. So I would work about 4 or 5 hours a week, and I would make as much as my friends were full-time at the restaurant or or on the farm or wherever. So I would just kind of hang out in my pool and wait for everybody to get off work. And
Sounds like a rough life.
it was.
Well, what happens when, you had a gal show up that had as much talent as this Belle? Did you just say, no, it's not for you, or did you just continue to coach them and charge them?
No, you meet them with where they are. Then you just know, what level that they can go to. So you can always work with something.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some. Some people. I was not the greatest athlete. I was not very coordinated. I know you'll find that hard to believe, but
But you knew how to coach.
yeah, I had a really good coach that taught me how to coach. Very basic. You get down to the basics.
What was your coach's name?
Her name was Becky Duffin. And so she was.
You got to give shout outs when you can, right?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Right. So she was actually on the U.S. women's team at the time.
Oh, really?
And she was give you the basics, and that's how I've always gone through everything. Break everything down to the basics, and you can teach someone anything as long as you get to the basics.
Then you worked in ag research. What were you doing there?
So I was a biology major, and so I found out that I really liked research. Started out in medical research, but then moved in St. Louis, moved back to Central Illinois, and worked at what's now Preeminent, but it was Tate and or it was A. East Daily at the time, and then they got bought by Tate and Lyle.
I don't know any of them.
And so
Yeah.
it's a competitor ADM.
Oh, okay.
So we
Gotcha.
did R&D, corn processing and ingredient R&D, and that was fun. And then
It was?
It was great. It was so much fun. Every day there was a new problem to solve. And then I worked at University of Illinois, ag engineering, and did the same thing there. Worked on corn process research, and that was a lot of fun. Working on all the grad students' projects. And
So I guess when you had kids, started homeschooling, is that when that's when you started your other business.
right, we had moved away from to Peoria, so it was too far for me to drive to the U of I. So we knew we were going to have kids. We actually started a construction business here in town, a home construction business, and that allowed me to stay home, have kids, kind of help with that business, and then eventually we started, when they got older, we started homeschooling.
It's so dumb. Homeschooling.
That's how I met you guys, through
Is that what it was?
homeschooling, and then, homeschooling or softball, one or the other.
Actually, I think it was softball, but it was
Was
like
it?
for the Christian Center, so it was like all homeschooled kids.
It was,
Yeah.
it was. Oh yeah, it was like the homeschool league.
But that was okay. I'm gonna say it's maybe not mainstream now, but it's not unusual
oh my gosh,
to.
it's so much more mainstream now than it was.
But back when y'all were doing it, when Emily and you were doing it, y'all were weirdos.
Right, and people were looking at us like we were really weird, and they
Yeah.
were like, yeah. And so, but now it's much more mainstream.
Which probably is. Well, tell me about the homeschool scientist.
So, as we started homeschooling, I started realizing that there was a big gap. Like women, and not just women, do it. There are dads who teach their kids as well, but parents in
All two of
general,
them.
all two of them, both of them, both of them were both scared. There was this fear of teaching science
Yeah.
in the homeschool community, and so they would try to farm it out or just like do the bare minimum. And I was shocked because I'm like, science is fun, and people look at me like I was nuts.
Yeah, because it's not like math, right? You could do stuff. But if you just like got the curriculum, right? You just got the books.
So
I mean,
boring.
yeah.
The books are boring. I think people who have a fear of science is because they had teachers that all they did with them was make them memorize a bunch of big words. It made it really boring.
Periodic.
And then, that's not even a big word. It's not,
Well, I mean,
it's not a big
I didn't know we
word.
were comparing here.
Big word.
Anyway.
Oh, you went to Southern. That is a big word. I'm sorry. That's right. Anyway,
Yes.
yes. so and then they would bore them with these big words, and then at some point they would say, "Here, dissect this dead animal."
Yeah.
That is not appealing to people. So I took it as my job to like, how can we help people take the fear out of science and put the fun into science? So I started teaching some classes, homeschool science classes here, which eventually evolved into the homeschoolscientist.com, where I got to review science curriculum, work with a lot of big curriculum companies in homeschooling, help them develop more fun, more interactive science. Got to
It took
speak
off.
at convention.
You
Yeah,
were speaking.
right. Yeah, it was great.
People actually wanted to hear what you had to
I
say
know.
about that
They were
stuff.
shocked. They were shocked that science could be fun. So it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that.
Okay. So, all right, tell me about what you're doing now. Tell me about Smart Start.
Oh gosh. So after the homeschool scientist, our kids graduated from homeschool. I was like, I am not going to write a homeschool blog and business anymore. Just the passion for homeschooling was just
Seasons of life.
seasons of life had
Yeah.
changed. So I actually sold that business to another homeschool entrepreneur who had a science curriculum, and so just worked great.
That's cool. So it was actually like an asset.
Oh, yes, huge asset.
Oh,
Yep.
fantastic.
So that homeschoolscientist.com is still a great website. You should go there if you homeschool, or if you have kids that just like science, you want to make it fun. Still a great resource. So when sold that right, like the beginning of COVID, which was like, oh, so I thought I'll just start a new business. Well, that was fun. So great timing. But I found that there are a lot of people that wanted to start businesses, especially during that time. So I started helping them start their business through social media and content management, but just even like the steps of starting a business. And so that became my business.
Yeah. Because it's intimidating. You
There's
know,
so
if
many
I-
steps.
Hey, I've got this great idea. Okay, I'll never do it because I don't even know the first
Right.
step.
Right. And
So that's where you come in.
yes. And so and even then I didn't know all the steps. I kind of knew what I did, and I knew what made my business successful. So I started plugging into local resources and other entrepreneurs to kind of figure out how to do this better. Then I met my co-founder for Smart Start, Katie Kelly, who she was a software entrepreneur, and she went through the same struggles of how do you start this business? How do you make it grow? Realize there's so many dots to connect, but how do you connect those dots? In what order do you connect those dots? Where do I find what I need to get to that dot? So she had created a software platform that walked people through the steps of starting a business, and started marketing that to different small communities, counties that were lacking the resources.
Because they want entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we were finding that in communities, you have your chambers of commerce, you have your EDCs, you have your municipalities. Of course,
What was the second one? The ABs?
the EDCs,
EDCs. Okay.
Economic Development Councils.
Okay. I
So-
don't know this stuff.
Right.
I
So
grow corn.
right. So they're in charge of they make sure there's economic opportunities within a community by helping the infrastructure to bring in new businesses. But none of those are really experts in how do you start that business. They
Yeah.
can support a business after it's here, but how do you start?
Yeah.
So we were seeing a gap that needed to be filled. So we actually came together to, even though that software platform was there was a missing link. Just pointing people to a resource isn't the same. So I came on with Katie, and we started this programming. We started workshops and really getting involved in the communities. And now we're seeing that prosper and grow in small communities. So it's a lot of fun.
So are you teaching them how to get funding? You teaching them like even the basics of how to rent a space,
Right.
build a space?
Right. Well, the first thing we teach them is customer development. Do you have, as I say, it's only a great idea if someone will pay for it.
You said that?
I said that. I did. Was that smart? Was that sound good?
Yeah, I wondered if Google would agree with you.
someone else could have said it in the realm, but that's what I say to when we go into do a workshop or talk to your council someone. Great, I am all for you having a great idea. I'm a biggest cheerleader, but how do we make sure that there are people who will pay for that? So we help them through that process first. Then, okay, do you need to be an LLC or an S corp? How do you do your taxes? Do you need a storefront? Can you do it from home? Do you need a website? Do you not need a website? We walk them through all those steps and provide them, not just walk them ourselves, because we're not like the experts. We know broadly what works, but we can connect them with people. Like we're partners with the Small Business Development Centers. They provide a lot of that business planning assistance. We partnered with local accountants, local lawyers who also, not all accountants and not all lawyers want to work with small businesses. It's just not their niche. So we go into a community and we find out which ones do, and then we work with them and point people to them as resources.
Does it matter the size of the town?
You know what? At first we thought it did. We thought we kind of had this demographic. We started in bigger communities. We started in Muscatine, Iowa. That's like 25,000 people.
Yeah.
We did Peoria County. But then we started we're getting where the great need is and the most excited entrepreneurs are in the towns like Delavan, Illinois. It has 1,700 people.
Okay, I'll say maybe what you don't want to say. So like Bradford, let's say they contact you. A town like Muscatine or the bigger towns, they're going to have a lot of resources. They're going to have people on their boards that have experience like that. Small town like Bradford, probably not.
Right.
They just know that they have businesses that want to get started, but the people on their boards are probably doing 10,000 other things that don't have time.
They don't have time.
Yeah.
Right. So we come in and fill that professional capacity, and we're finding that a lot of times just going in and showing them the possibility and cheerleading for them and connecting the dots and saying, hey, you've got a building open. Oh my gosh, you want to start a business? You want us to teach you how to do that? And then other people see that and then like, oh, we want to do that too. And so we just see this, a lot of ours is connecting the dots, but cheerleading, doing all those things that the people in the town want to see done, just don't have time to do.
So a town like Bradford would hire you.
Yes.
And then what? Do they have like a list of people that have interest in starting ideas?
Right, yeah. So basically, a lot of times within these communities, they might have just a list of contacts, just small towns, word of mouth. We
all know each other's business.
Exactly. Everybody knows anybody who's going to start a business. Or,
do you get some crazy ideas?
oh my gosh, we do.
Yeah.
And I love them. I love everyone. Bring me on the crazy ideas.
Yeah, but
those are the ones.
The pet rock farm, that's not going to make any money.
Those are hey, you know what? You'd be amazed what people pay for. And we are down to like, hey, and maybe that's not it. We go through the customer development process, but those people that come with the crazy ideas, they come with motivation. And we do the customer development. Maybe maybe the pet rock thing doesn't work, but maybe teaching people to paint their pet rocks, maybe that's where the niche is. So we help them find that. And success breeds success. So
Any illegal activities?
We do not promote illegal activities.
They make money. The margins are good though.
I hear they are.
Yeah. Does anybody come to you with some questionable ones?
We have had a few questionable ones.
Yeah.
I will not say what they are, but I'm like, is there a market for that?
Yeah. Of all the
Go
towns
for it.
you've worked with, which town do you like the least?
You can't say that. And really, there is none.
Bradford?
I'm not working in Bradford yet. That's your job. You got to get me in there.
Okay.
We're going to build that
There's
Main
not
Street.
much there.
Well, we'll
We
fix
can't even
that.
get a dollar store.
Don't get me started on dollar stores.
You don't
want
like those.
it.
Why not? Because you want the mom and pop?
I want the mom and pop. And that's another show.
You can't walk through the dollar store anyway because they always have all the boxes in the
There is.
aisle and that.
There is. And it's just, and there can be so many more better mom and pop stores that come from just that one Dollar General. I am not, and they don't, if you look at the true economics of it, it doesn't really make sense for small towns, but that's another episode.
It's tough, right? Because we've seen people put their all into these small town businesses, they buy the old storefront, they fix it up, and then they're there for a year.
Right.
It's got to be tough for a person like you to try to not only start something up, but leave them with something that is going to
Right.
be profitable.
Right. So we try to not just, there's that statistic that, the average business, 50% of businesses only last 5 years. Well, we want to change that because we believe that if we start up front and give them the tools that they truly need, like they're really fitting a niche in their community, the community will pay for that. And it's not just, you can't just have one business in that community. What other complementary businesses can we help people provide that will make that not just a asset for that community, but the surrounding communities? Maybe that's, what can we help them build and become a destination or become, oh gosh, I don't need to go into Peoria anymore because I have everything I need right here. So it's kind of
That's the
changing the
problem.
culture.
The small towns, we don't like each other. Don't get me started on Tisquewa.
Right. Well,
Yeah. But you actually
that.
try to get them to collaborate?
There are some interesting things that we're working on as far as there's a few communities that we're working in that they want to become a tourism hub. And these 3 communities are working together. Now, what businesses can we put in each community that would make people go from community to community? There
Bars.
is some, but well, that's central. There's got to be that
Yeah.
in every town.
Is there?
And there's always bars in every town.
It's a law. You got to have as many bars as you have churches.
Churches,
Yeah.
yes, it is. It's the unwritten rule.
Finally, somebody gets that joke.
Right? Only from small towns do you get that.
All right. So, if I'm sitting on a town board or whatever,
Yes.
and I'm watching this, I mean, what do? They just contact you?
Yeah, just contact us. We come in, we talk to them. We can even do a small business assessment. Just see what they have, what small businesses are there, what small businesses, what the infrastructure is, what buildings are there that need to be filled, what the needs are of the community. We love to come in and do that, and then we then take that information, and then we can launch Smart Start there.
Where do they find you?
They can find me, actually just go to, or email me at info@smartstartcommunity.com.
Okay. All right. I think it's a good thing because it's so tough. Especially, and I'm not going to stereotype, right? Because a lot of times it's the wives that live in the towns, their husbands are working.
Right.
But they have this great idea. They want to get a business started, but they've never done anything like
right.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you've got like a bread and butter kind of scenario, but is that close?
It's mostly women who come to our workshops, and we are women owned. And in fact, we've had people that want to partner with us to want to like buy into our business, and I'm like, no, you're a man. I find that the women's touch is needed.
You hear this, guys? That's offensive.
Good.
Gonna have to contact HR if we even have an HR.
No, I just find because most of the people who come to our workshops are women. I mean, there's men, of course, but there's women, and so I just feel that if there's a man sitting there telling a woman what to do, it's not very.
It is intimidating.
Yeah.
I've gone to meetings with it, walk in there and it's all women, and it's a bit it's a bit intimidating. So
Yeah.
I get that.
But I just love that we can help somebody see that dream that they want to fulfill and they haven't been able to, and we can help them with that.
Yeah. No, I like what you're doing. Like we said, we've known each other, our families for a long time. It's been fun to see you succeed not only at the homeschool scientist, but with this too. And it's not only that, but to me, you've kind of tapped into what you've always had as one of your greatest assets, is that you want to actually help people.
Right. I would, I love doing this. I would do it for free. I mean, if I had.
You heard it there.
I mean,
heard it here first.
I mean, if I was independently
Smart
wealthy
Start
and,
for free.
yes, we really enjoy what we do. We just love it. That's what motivates us.
Marcy Goodwin, thank you very much for being with us today. Really, really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
And everybody else, we'll catch you next week.